Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Well, I promised you a performer and not necessarily a performance, and so here he is. Pianist, composer, singer and arranger Mikhail Salcedo is making a comeback to our local stage for his live studio concert on Thursday, 5th October at Kafe Blues Cafe. And joining us this morning to talk more about his return and his music is the man himself, Mikhail Salcedo. Mikhail, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning? Of course, pleasure to have you in studio with us.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, you have over 20 years experience in this business. So for those of you who may not know who you are, give us a little background about your music career.
All right, so I started, I guess I could say I started traveling in 1998 with the Flabège Steel Orchestra. I started with them actually when I was still in school, in secondary school.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of everything for me. So after that, Flabège became Siddiqui Sticks on Steel. I traveled with them as well. Then I went into UE in 99 and traveled with the Festival of Arts, I think is the name of it. Can't remember. Arts in Action,
Arts in Action, yes.
So we went to Cuba and all that kind of stuff. So I've been around for a little while.
Yeah.
More so, my main thing at that time would have been jazz. And I was a heavy jazz fiend, you know. And eventually, just by around maybe somewhere in the 2000s, in the mid-2000s, 2010s, I would say, I started doing a little more of the R&B and the pop and stuff like that. Never really too keen on it, but eventually started traveling back in 2019. And that's where I really started doing what I do now, which is singing and playing a lot more of the, I guess, American pop music, you know, so that's exactly what it is for me now.
Yeah, American pop music. Now, I've often heard people describe your music as well as a sort of Caribbean jazz infusion.
Well, right.
Yeah.
So some years ago before Clive Zander passed, he would have said to me that you could never play jazz. Felt a little hurt by it, you know, because like, bruh, I've been doing this.
Yes, yes.
But the truth is, I can't. The only way for me to do it, I would have to be living in America for a certain amount of time to submerge myself in the culture. Which means my natural state is calypso.
Yes.
No matter what I play, as much as in my head I am hearing jazz and all of that, but it's actually calypso rhythms and stuff that's coming out in my hands. So the truth is, a lot of my music is formed through calypso, a little bit of soca, and the jazz influence still, you know, so that's always there.
Now, the one that you have coming up is Salcedo Reimagined.
Yes.
And it's coming up in Kafe Blue. Tell us about it. I understand it's a fundraiser.
Well, yeah, so it's initially a fundraiser for an album, my debut album. Yeah, because a lot of people have been behind me, you know, for years. It's like, when you're doing an album, it's expensive. So, sorry.
Tell them, please,
but
they understand, yes.
So I decided, you know what, let me just do this show. Because I always wanted to start back performing in Trinidad. I haven't done any shows in Trinidad for some time.
Okay.
And for years I've been thinking about it, how to do it. I had a show in mind since 2012, actually. And it's just like, man, should I do that show? Should I not? How do I do that show? That kind of thing. So the only way for me to do it is to actually come back home and start putting on some smaller shows that's going to lead up to that.
So this is one of the many that you're going to be having?
This is one of the many. So it's really not just one show.
Yes.
So it's a couple shows that's going to lead up to the album, doing the album, doing an album launch.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about it, but the album launch may include that original idea that I had since 2012 to do that performance. So it may be 2 in 1.
Now, before we touch on a bit more about the album, tell us who we can expect at the event, Salcedo Reimagined.
So, Salcedo Reimagined. You can expect me.
Of course.
You know? I have guest artists, Tony Paul.
Of course.
Beautiful saxophonist, flautist, and a singer as well. You know, so maybe or maybe not, I might make him... I might have him sing, you know, on the show.
Yes.
But we're going to have also, I just recently included Shiva Manik, which is a longtime friend of mine.
Right.
He's a tabla player, beautiful guy. And then we have the rest of the band, which will be Nicholas Thomas on drums, Emil Fortune on keys, Andre Jack on bass, the greatest guitarist, Jason Bishop, you know, and I have Aaron Eiffel and his wife,
Yes.
Candice Caton Eiffel,
Yeah.
on background vocals.
Of course, and just rounding off that entire thing that
Yes,
you can
yes,
see. Now, you
yes.
mentioned, you know, you hearing pop in your head, people telling you can't play jazz. Are we expecting that Caribbean jazz fusion mix
Yeah, it is,
on
it is
the day?
definitely Caribbean
Yes,
jazz.
yes.
So there's Bobby Caldwell's What You Won't Do for Love.
Yes.
There's a song that was recently done by Bruno Mars, and a lot of young people might think it's a Bruno Mars composition. It's not. It's an old song by a group called Confunction, which is Love's Train. There is Love Ballad by Jeffrey Osborne. Angels We Have Heard on High. I actually have an arrangement that I
Okay.
did of that.
Okay.
A couple of years now, and I
Yes.
gave it to Emile to produce for me, I think last year.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, we're going to do that arrangement in the show. And then you have Lying Excuses by Sparrow, which is, for me, my favorite calypso about lying. I know most people know King Liar, you know,
Yeah.
by Lord Nelson, but Lying Excuses is the perfect thing to explain
Yeah.
why they call us Tricky Daddians.
Yeah.
You know?
And the melody as well. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. The
Yes,
melody
yes,
is beautiful
you know,
as well.
so we're
But
doing
here's the
that as
question for
well.
you, Mikel. Are we going to see some of that music translate to the debut album? Is that what we're bringing forward on that album?
So the album is actually a calypso jazz album.
Right.
So it's going to have Lying Excuses.
Yes.
It's going to have Voices, Far From Finish. It's going to have Old Time Days by Nappy Myers. There's a Rash Shorty Eye song, Endless Vibrations.
Yes, I know Endless Vibrations. Yes.
Right. And Rupee, Give Him Thanks. It's going to have a couple songs, not just from Trinidad,
Right.
you know, from the region, but calypso jazz.
Yeah,
So
calypso
everything,
jazz.
what I did is a lot of the songs, they have beautiful messages in it.
Yes.
But sometimes we get lost in the rhythm and we just dancing and not listening to the message.
Yeah.
So what I did was slow down some of them. Some of them are still the kind of same speed, but everything is done to highlight the lyrical content of the song,
Yeah.
so that you actually pay attention. Old Time Days is a huge message,
Yeah.
you know, that even some young people who don't know what the old time days were like can still connect with.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're just lost in the groove, you know.
We're just dancing
And
along, we're not paying
yeah,
attention.
yeah,
But for
exactly.
those of you who want to come to the event in October, tell us when it's taking place, where it's taking place, where we can get tickets.
Great.
And also, Mikel, if we want to reach out to you, how can we find you?
If you want to reach out to me, for now, you can only find me on WhatsApp or Facebook. So my WhatsApp number would be 721-4569.
Yes.
I'm on Facebook at Salcedo Music, Instagram, Salcedo Music.
Yeah.
Well, you can always see me on YouTube, Salcedo Music. All right. October 5th in Kafe Blue, which is on Ryson Road, just behind the SWWTU Hall. That is where the concert is going to be. It starts at 8 p.m. It's going to end around 10 p.m. We keep it short because it's a school night. And it's $200 for tickets.
Yeah.
You know, so tickets can be bought online.
Yeah.
But we also have the space for you all to purchase at the door when you come.
Well, let me thank you so much, Mikel, for joining us this
Beautiful.
morning. Remember, it's taking place at Kafe Blue on the 5th of October.
Yes.
Get your tickets at Island e-tickets for Salcedo Reimagined. Let me thank Mikel so much for coming in this morning. And let me thank you on behalf of the entire team. Of course, thank you going out to Ianka Will, Natasha Lake, the entire crew here at TTT. Have a fantastic weekend, and we are going to see you on Monday.